Hey, you.
Hey, how's it going?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. I can't believe this is happening.
I've been looking forward to this for ages. In other words, probably since before we texted, because I can just sort of feel them coming.
Yeah.
And I I just want to say I'm really thankful to chat with you today. And that we're doing this cool little episode-y thing for the podcast and wherever it goes. And feel free to ask me anything. This is Juliette. She is remarkable and lovely. And that's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to turn it all over to you and let's have some fun.
Yeah, no. I'm very excited to be here. I'm in Remarkable and I'm about to start my third year of Remarkable. So I can't believe that so much time has passed. I joined, goodness, I think it was 2020, back in 2020, like the fall of 2020, and got into MM right away. Well, actually, not right. I think it took me about a month or so, but I was really, really nervous because I didn't understand everything at the time when I joined. Like I knew Neville, I'd read Neville, I listened to Neville audiobooks, and then the conversations within the group, I sought out the group because I was like, where's a place where I can talk about this stuff that's safe, and
Right.
interesting. And so your group had like the most members and the most activity based on the stats I was looking at. So I joined that, but I was still nervous, and I had been manifesting for years in different ways, not necessarily through Neville, but through Wayne Dyer's books, had talked a lot about feeling and believing and thinking. And so when I was in sales, I had done that all the time. But now it was like, all right, there's still some things that I want and things that I'm looking for and things that I feel like I'm missing. And so I listened to a Neville audiobook, and at the end of that, I said, let me find a Facebook group that can help me dive deeper into this. And there was your group and Manifesting Mastery, which I invested in pretty quickly. And then the best part of that was the weekly emails. So they kind of kept me accountable and kept us connected. So I enjoyed that too. And then through that, there was listening to the podcast. And in the podcast, you would talk about Remarkable, which I thought was great. And then in Dream Driven Day, it was like daily assignments and it was a small group, and I never succeeded daily assignments. I always get lost or busy or focus on other things. But in that particular group, I was able to stay focused and get them done. And I learned a ton, and the engagement was phenomenal, and the people were beyond what I even imagined that group to be. So through that, joined Remarkable 2023, which was also different than 2024. And
Yeah.
it was a whole, and when I went to 2024, I was like, oh yay, another small group of people and you're like, nope, never. And I saw you change the name from Remarkable Year to Remarkable Year and Beyond. And then started listening to the podcast, and you were advertising, anyone can join. And so the dynamic of the group changed. And I was honestly scared at first. I was like, I don't know if this is
me too.
really. I wasn't sure. I was like, before it was like, you knew the people. But then at the same time, I was like, well, it's a different group, a different dynamic, different things being brought up by different people that I wasn't expecting. And it was just this whole different dynamic that turned out to be quite wonderful. And I love the larger group size. I love the people that it invites. I love the questions that they have. And my only regret for this year is not participating more. So, which I truly,
yay.
I didn't expect that to happen, but I fly Sunday night. So I don't get the calls, and then it just kind of goes crazy from there. But
So, what's so cool about I got goosebumps, right? So what's so cool with all this, I love that you brought up the potential downside. So 20 says, oh, screw it, man. Anyone can join. And I didn't figure that out. One of the models in Remarkable we talked about was inside, outside, upside down. And so outside is, let's say, the world of the senses. Inside is the inside. upside is just opening up to, all right, yeah, let's say, like, what's next? And I opened up to my upside, and my upside feels, kick open the doors. And I go, oh shit. All right. And I do what I did when I changed my name. I wrote it for a few days. And it wouldn't go away. It's like, all right, it's persisting. Here we go. Right. And it was really cool because I love the spices that have shown up in the group because of this. Because it really is like there's a different level of spice. And there's people listening to you guys going, oh, wow, I definitely got to do Dream Driven Day because I can see how it's given to them. And you guys are going, oh, wow, here's a little mouse that's showing up that's asking these innocent questions that invite me to trust more. And so the little mouse helps us buffaloes who get around the block to go, oh my God, here's something that I don't notice that I don't notice, and they do. And now the dance deepens, and it's like, how cool is this? Mm-hmm. And like right now, so you've noticed in Remarkable, every year is totally different. Mm-hmm. And now we're diving into the 12 disciples starting in January. And what I've had show up with all the writing and stuff I'm doing for that is, it's like taking a nature walk with each disciple. So they've all got something else to give us on this walk in nature. And I go, wow, there's goosebumps. And so I explore that. And I really get those who are willing to explore instead of settling for an explanation. Get it. Now, here's what's cool. Ready? One more. So here's another one. How else do I give to these people? Because I love you guys. And I get randos joining. And I go, how? Who's rando? Right. And rando is probably twice a month. We're going to do calls at other times. Little 30-minute calls just for the people that can't get on the Sundays, or that want to get on a little bit more. I'll put up a little thing like, hey, this Thursday at 3 p.m. or whatever, or midnight, we're going to do a 20-minute, 30-minute call for anybody who wants to show up. And you all show up, and that goes into the Remarkable goodie box too. And it's like, I would have never thought to do that. I'm not that smart. But my upside goes, when I go outside and I go, right, there's my group. When I go inside and I imagine you guys even getting more gold, my upside goes, randos joining. Oh God, who's rando? Right, random times. Rando. Yeah. Oh, I love rando. I got it. So, and that, if I don't label it, it energizes me. Mm-hmm. If I label it, I can get scared or excited or whatever. But if I don't label that energy, I just go, oh my God, I can't wait to hang out with my crew once or twice more a month for 20 minutes, 30 minutes here and there, and see who's willing to get up at odd hours, or it will be less odd hours for the Europeans because they're there. But it's like, oh my God, this is going to be a blast. And to me, that's what it's all about. So I'll give the talking stick back to you.
No, that's awesome. Because I didn't even think I was like, okay, Sundays are tough because I'm always flying on Sundays. And this tomorrow, I should be able to join the call. So, or no, 2 days.
Oh, yay.
Sunday, yeah.
So your Sunday. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So, but to have it at different times and different, it would just be awesome. And different dynamic and different flavor. And yeah, we do see in Europe and they're like, I'm so tired.
Yep.
They just think for the first hour and then they got it back out. And yeah.
So the regular call will stay on that one Sunday a month. Mm-hmm. And then the rando calls bounce around, whatever. So we'll have that predictable bit for the predictable bits. And then we'll have the other bits that show up throughout the other calls. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. And to see how we all show up differently at different times of day too. So,
well, and it's a great model for all of us, like just changing the dance steps. It's not like, it's scary and fun and it keeps things evolving and moving, and you're going to lose some people and gain new people, and you just never know what's going to happen for them. I think it's a huge lesson for those of us who are in it, just to observe it from the inside, and then also, the outsides.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's exciting. And I need to look into what is it that's the money mastermind's drawing me. And Anja put up a post about that recently.
Yeah.
That's drawing me. And then oh my gosh, the new name for Dream Driven Day is escaping me. What is that?
Oh, Destiny. Yeah, we did that. We did 2 rounds of Destiny. I've gone back and forth on we'll probably do another round next year, maybe 2. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we've got a cool thing showing up with Dream Driven Day too. So have you done more than one Dream Driven Day? I don't remember.
I've done 2. Yep.
Cool. So even though the lessons are the same, the calls are wildly different, right?
Yeah.
So it's a different course every time you do it with different people, and the calls just vary. And what we've had show up there, again, I go outside, and there's my course. Inside, let's imagine more smiles. Cool. And I open up to my upside, and my upside goes, announce each new dream-driven day with a theme. That's what I did right there. Ooh. And I tell Victoria, and she does the same thing. So I go, all right, this is good. Yeah. So each dream-driven day, even though it's Dream-Driven Day, July 2025, whatever, it'll have a theme tacked on at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that'll be cool. What the themes will be, I don't know yet. We'll find out. I don't know. So it's like, oh, how adorable is this? So now we're getting Rando again is showing up now in Dream-Driven Day in a different way. So Rando's saying, Radio 20, this is the theme of the July 2025 Dream-Driven Day. Oh, wow. I would have never picked that.
Yeah.
And now we get to play.
And have all of that. That's awesome. I'm excited about the nature walks for the Remarkable 25, because I just bought a house in the middle of the hills, and my living room is currently packed with boxes that are going to make their way out there tomorrow. And you had, in our chat earlier this week, you had talked about devotionals, and I was like, okay, time to dive into the Bible. And it was like, we had that chat, you posted in a different chat, and you're like, oh, we're doing the disciples. And I'm like, okay, time to dive into the Bible again. And then between that and the nature walks, and then hopefully I'll be able to slow down next year and just enjoy this stuff. I don't know.
Cool. Let's imagine that. It's really cool for me. So I've had people, if you want to be on the Sunday calls too, imagine something that implies that. And here's what happens with rational magical. Rational is fudge. Like that'll screw with something else, right? Or that could jeopardize this. And we get to go, I don't know how it happens. But so we get to fall in love with that I don't know zone again. Right? And just sort of go, alrighty, so what if I could have my cake and eat it too? What if I doubled my income at work half the time? That's why I love that question, because it just screws with rational. And then it's like, all right. So we get to imagine, what would it be like?
Yeah.
And as you'll probably remember from a couple Remarkables ago, that's the producer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the producer goes, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we got a dog? Oh, wow. And then the author goes, well, would imply we got a dog. Oh, he lays on my legs while I do calls. I can feel him. He's down there right now. And the director goes, radio, let's stay on target here. Let's make sure we keep going in that direction. But here's some gentle nudges. And the actor enacts the response to all that. And it'll get edited out before you got on the call. Set up the light. I double check everything. And Emmett walks up and looks at me like, is it time, Dad? Yeah, it's time. And then even though it's bloody hot here, I put a blanket down on my legs, and he's down there right now. Like,
oh
wow. And this is how we imagine a happy, loving puppy dad.
Yeah.
Oh wow. And so there's 4 mighty ones, and they sneak in. Once she got the 4 mighty ones, once she got the disciples, once she got all the weird things we did in 2024, these things will weave their own magic carpet. And you can't help but go, wouldn't it be cool if I got to show up on more live calls? Maybe you're the reason we're doing rando. I don't know. But you guys, yeah, you guys imagine something, and I can't help but be moved.
Yeah.
And I imagine something, and you can't help but be moved. And it's just like the love and the light that we are. Wow, cast more yummy shadows and rainbows.
Well, it's one of the fascinating things about the imagination is who's imagining who. And that's been a huge thing for me because when I joined the group, my whole purpose was happy loving wife, right? I was single and I wanted a partner and and now it's like I have the partner and we just bought a house together and we have a cat and I'm like, you know what? Did I manifest him or did he manifest me? Because all he ever said is you're perfect. I hit the jackpot. This is like the best thing. And, and that feeling never goes away. Like we both feel that about each other. And then I look at the cat and I'm like, maybe the cat manifests.
Maybe the cat. Nice.
Because he had been a journey in the woods who found him and then, everything kind of happened and came together.
I've made a Venn diagram on this. I'll find it or make it again. And so if you could imagine, you know what a Venn diagram is. So you got a circle and they overlap somehow. Just to, sort of like if we just take our fingers and do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we have this Venn diagram and we'll call one him and we'll call one her. And at some point they overlap. And that's us, right? Like we did we, the, we, and we. So we got me, we got thee, we got we where they overlap. And I bought this past year lawofacceptance.com because I get this is so cornerstone to it all. And it'll be another project of mine that either sinks or flies, find out, or I just make it let sit there for 10 years. And what are you accepting into your life? Happy, loving wife. What's he accepting into his life? Someone like you.
Yeah.
And like Neville says, at the center of it all, there really is only one I am imagining. But as these individualistic things that we appear to be, I accept into my life people like you. My puppy, Victoria. In the past year, I've accepted into my life being fighting fit again. And the transformations happen. And the coolest thing is, you accepted being happy, loving wife. He accepted some kind of person like you. And where you overlapped, here you are. And then you get to have the kitty show up. Oh, wow. I like you both. and we all know cats are the commandos of the universe, right? At least that's what they think.
Yeah. No, it's better than I could have ever imagined,
Yes.
And I have these programs to thank for it, because it taught me about states and it taught me about letting go and surrender and stop and be still and shutting the door and buying the pearl and like all that stuff. And it was interesting just developing all of that over time, like coming into contact with the information and then, having it processed through the rational and the magical and knowing when to engage and access both. But
yes,
it was cool. I think the states was the best part that I wish I had known. I mean, I'm glad I knew it now because I'm really happy now. So I don't know if the same thing would have happened before, but just like, okay, happy living wife. Well, what does that mean? And because of the way things are taught in the groups, it's like explore and dance. It's not like I'm very much well, here's what that means. And I have to watch myself when I respond to people because I want to define and I want to tell them. And I'm like, here's the direct line to what you're asking and what you want to know. It's right there, and I have to like not do that because everybody, the journey is part of the exploration.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, state of happy, loving wife, what does that mean? And before I had entered the state and I was trying to find a partner, it was, oh, let me go to the bar, and meet him out there. Or let me take a cooking class and I'll meet him there. Or let me do this thing. And all of a sudden I'm like, if I'm a happy living wife, would I be at a bar? No. So why am I going? And if I'm happy living wife, would I be at a cooking class? Like, no, I would be home cooking dinner,
Right.
So don't expect me to. And all of a sudden I was like, well, what does happy living wife do on a Friday night? Well, she actually sits on the couch and reads a book with a candle lit and dinner having been just finished by her and her husband. So, all of a sudden I stopped going out, chasing things that I thought I needed to do. And I just stayed home. And I relaxed and I rested and I cooked and I cleaned and and I just did things that a happy, loving wife would do, and I watched my money and I budgeted, and I was just like, all of a sudden I was becoming responsible, which I didn't realize was what was missing before. I've always been responsible, but I was always in the state of single. Even when I would follow directions in a book and it said, like, make room in your closet for the guy, make room here, make room there. It's like, you can make room all over the place, but if you're not in the state, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't come. You have to be in the state. And even I'd experiment as the relationship would continue and I would find myself falling out of state. And I remember a podcast you had done and you're like, well, being happy living single person is great and happy living wife is great. Like, it's both great states. And I'd be like, okay, let me experiment. And I'd jump over to single and there would be conflict or disruption or, and I'm like, nope, not what I want. And then I'd jump back over. And so it was also kind of cool because we all want to feel some sort of control or choice or what have you. But if I would choose one state and find what I thought I wanted falling apart, I would just remember to enter into the state that I actually wanted to be in. And things would kind of come right back to where they were. The strange part, though, was that it didn't all fully come together. It was literally 12 months of, do I have it or am I going to lose it? Do I have it or am I going to lose it? And there was one time when I went into your store and I was like anxiety pack and, and the Joseph Goddard method, and what do I have to do to keep this, to hold on to it? And the reality was that no matter what I did, I would still be in the state of almost losing it sometimes. And when I finally got to the point where I'm no longer afraid of losing it was when I was actually ready to completely let it go. And I was like, you know what? It's about the state, not the person. If he wants to, he can go. But I can be in the state whenever I want to be in the state. I don't have to worry about that. And I'm not losing the state, and if he wants to go, I can just stay in the state and I'm sure somebody more fabulous will show up and it's totally fine,
Yeah.
But I can't do this in-out thing anymore. I'm just going to have to stay in the state. And as soon as I decided to stay in the state, like, I don't care. I'm going to be in the state and that's just it. Like, slam the door on that. That's when the ring showed up, that's
nice.
That's when the let's be in a relationship showed up. And it was like I couldn't choose the who, the who was there. It was just, I had to let that, I just had to be, and the word confidence is what's been going through my mind as I've been thinking about our meeting today. It's like, and then the statement, like, your confidence in, I think
your faith in God is measured by your confidence in yourself.
Yeah. And the fact that it's okay.
I love that you shared. Here's a pattern we see all the time. I should put out a course, How to Manifest Your Special Person, but I can't do it. I just can't. But what we've noticed time and time again is when you stop making it about that special person, it often opens the door for that person to show up in your life more completely. Because as long as it's about the pressure, if that they feel the pressure too.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I go, rightio, what is it really about? Neville Goddard says there's no one to change but self. I'm really nailing the state of happy, loving life. And suddenly, whoever the Venn diagram is gets to play their part. And because no longer is it two balls trying to see how close can we get bouncing off each other. It's these two, it's the space shared by the two circles in the diagram. And it's like, oh, wow, I've let go of trying to make that ball get closer or to control what that ball does. And suddenly we have shared space. And it's so beautiful. And it's everywhere. I do it with trainings, there are times when I'll feel this person really needs to be in this training. I'll actually hear their voice on the calls before we even have the call. And it's like, wow, that's weird. And I don't make it about them. We had two happen with this last round of Destiny, where we did the first call October 27th, and I was dying. I was just in bad shape. We were down with the sickness, but I'm still starting the course. So I started the course and said, look, we're supposed to do 4 calls. We'll do 4 more. I'm just going to lay it on the line what I got today. Y'all want to stick around? Cool. We'll even invite some more people. And we'll see what happens. So we did the first call. Everybody loved it. Put out the invite. Hey, we already did 1 call, but we're going to do 4 more. Whoever wants to join. And lo and behold, the people whose voices I heard joined. Now, I didn't make it about them joining. They must join. They must join. They must join. I just imagined me being happy with the calls, and you guys being happy with the calls, and suddenly, 2 voices that I've heard show up. Oh my God, I couldn't make it at first, or I didn't notice it, and here I am. And it's the wildest thing because if I hadn't, quote unquote, been down with the sickness, or I pushed on them, it just wouldn't have worked out. Mm-hmm. But everything came together divinely perfectly, because it's like, right, what am I imagining? I'm imagining a crew got gold out of this course. I'm imagining I feel great about what I shared. And then the Venn diagram dance floor bus opens up. And it's like, how cool can life be? There's another producer moment. How cool could life be? Oh, wow. And we get to open up to that.
There's no limit to how cool life can be when you allow it to be,
Yeah. There we go. Allowing, acceptance, accept dance.
Yeah. It all shows up. It all appears like the house. I call it a dream come true that I never had, right?
Nice.
It's like I've had that happen a few times. I had a all expense paid trip to Malaysia once for a thing that I did that I had wanted to do a long time before, but if I had done it on my schedule, I wouldn't have gone to Malaysia. But because I waited for the invitation turned into something pretty magical. And the same thing with the house. It was like, you just wait for the invitation, the timing, the offering, I guess,
I really get that you get this. Desires come out of the blue. And when they show up, and you can accept or you can reject.
Yeah.
And it's so much more fun than determining, well, I think this will make me happy, and how can I force it into existence? Oh, that makes it about a special trip instead of an adventure.
Yeah.
And you gave yourself an adventure.
Oh, a huge one. And it's fun because you can play with this on multiple levels. There was, when I first was starting out and I was really trying to dive deep into the Joseph Goddard, and I was trying to make my day my way, right? But I was getting into the details. And one of the details I had was all of our flights are going to be on time, right?
Right.
So I get through my day, and it was just a day trip to DC and a couple other places and then back home. And we were in DC, and all of a sudden our plane breaks. And no, I said our plane break. We lost our captain. That's what happened. We lost our captain. And then this flight comes in with another captain from our base, and they were going home, but 2 hours later. So I was like, oh, what if we get this captain, until they can get a new captain for that one? And so I speak up to cause this to happen, right?
Yes.
I'm like, hey, I have an idea. Why? Because my morning desire was all flights to be on time. So I was like, I'm going to make this. It was the biggest mess.
Nice.
The flights were on time, but because I stepped in and did something, it just showed me why we don't do that.
Nice. I love how you brought that up, because if I make it about the flights, it's not about me anymore. If I make it about, I'm perfectly happy with, I love Victoria's double yum method. It's my experience of her yum. So it's action of self-predominant. I love her yum. And 99% of our meals are fantastic. Every now and then we get a shitstorm, but that's all right. That happens, right? But even with a shitstorm, we have a lovely time together. Yeah. So that's the real yum. And being open to that versus the tomatoes were perfect. The cucumbers were sliced. Razor. Yeah, it's like, oh my God. Just trying to micromanage everything. We didn't come here to be managers. We came here to give life to miracles and magic moments.
Yeah.
So we nailed those with our Joe Goes. I like our talk. I have no idea what we're talking about. We just go with the flow, right? But I imagine had gotten off the call with you going, wow, it was the perfect length. It was the perfect stop. We talked about whatever we talked about, and it gave to us, and the ripples go out.
Yeah.
And so versus, we want to make sure we cover this. Oh no, please don't do that, Mr. 20. There's a little rugger in there. And we just tell him, hey, go over there and get busy for a while. Just do something stupid and we'll have fun over here. Just makes life so much more fun.
It's hard not to be more focused in, though. Like even preparing for the call, I'm like, what am I going to say? What questions am I going to ask? Where are we going to take this? Should I write notes? And
Nice.
in fact, that's been one of the biggest questions ever since joining the group, the free Neville group, is taking notes. I want to write down my Joseph Goddards, and I want to. And yet, when I look back, like all the things I've gotten, so many of them have been like a momentary wish.
Yeah, the desire comes out of the blue.
Yeah.
Yep. There's now you and I just made up a new manifesting method. We'll just call it
Okay.
Because when we can experience what implies instead of trying to figure anything out.
Yeah.
I had a remarkable fellow sends me a video this morning, and the phrase on the opening thing is about reality not being real. What is it? What do they say? This is a world of illusion or something like that. And instantly I get 4 pages of stuff that show up. And I say, oh man, make the coffee, type it out. And I put a little snip up on the Facebook. But I got a book. I got a whole book, formatting itself and in my brain, and it's coming out. And it's fast and furious because I've imagined writing a bunch of really good books this upcoming year. And this one kicks it off in a really good way. And I go, oh, wow. But I couldn't plan that. All I could do is, I get the video. I have my res geste spontaneous response. And I go to upside and I got it. And it shows up like a machine gun. And it's like, this is fantastic. And it's just that, I've got this spontaneous desire to write some books. That's a big chunk. But now I've got a desire to write this book. And this could really turn into some cool stuff. So it's like, right. And bang, it's flowing out fast.
Yeah.
But we got to open up to that spontaneous, as we said, instantaneous and spontaneous. As soon as it shows up and you go, and you can experience the four directions, the 4 mighty ones and all the other stuff we've played with. Yeah. Let's make sure we're in magical terrain, not rational territory, and so on. It's like, oh, wow. And it just flows and grows together. Like you and your sweetie. Yes.
Yeah. But by being able to take that and connect it to the other things that we know are true.
Yes.
Sort of what makes the happen.
Yes.
So
on its own, it'll be a horribly abused method that never works.
Exactly.
with all this context we have.
Exactly.
Yum.
Yeah. Yeah. You get the you throw it to the producer, But if you didn't have the producer, what would you do with it?
What would you do with it?
Yeah. You get the and you buy the pearl with it. It's like, but if you didn't know about the pearl, you wouldn't be able to work with the aha. So by having the
Yeah.
tools, you can take the rest of it,
Yeah.
make it just help create the world to be even better. I did want to mention one thing that I learned this year, which is the thinking lovingly of others. So I just wanted to bring
Yes.
that up. I realized that is a very advanced practice.
Tell me more.
This year in Remarkable, I haven't been super active. And a big reason for that is just being busy, 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 busy. Because I went into the state of happy living debt free. And so I've been working constantly 24/7 and just
Yeah.
to like pay things off and get things done. And I've made some progress there. But because of that, I haven't had a whole lot of fun or time to just grow and learn. It's just been constant running busy mouse. And one day I was just sitting there and I was like, you know what? I don't even have time to think lovingly of others. And
Wow. Got it.
I don't even have time to imagine lovingly. And as soon as that thought crossed, I'm like, you know what? That's kind of advanced. Like when you get to the point where you have time to imagine lovingly for others, I don't know. It just feels like I don't know if I'm articulating it right, but I just feel like that's something I want to explore a lot more. And it's a goal that I have to start doing more of that I haven't had
Nice.
to do.
Would you like some instant homework?
Yes.
All right. So it's right now December. Good Lord. It's December 2024.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. I'll be here when you get back. And just randomly let a few different months show up from 2024, whatever they are. Could be birthday, could be summertime, could be Thanksgiving, doesn't matter. And imagine a couple times in a couple places where you can insert having taken the time to imagine lovingly for others. Yeah, there you go. And just insert a couple of those, insert a couple more. Maybe include them on your shopping trips or on the way to the airports or whatever. And you can just include a couple here, a couple there. Not to go back to 2023. I don't know if we remember that or not. But just toss a few in back there for the fun of it that you didn't have. And maybe a particular or two pops up where you could have just gone, right? Grunt, giggle, imagine lovingly. And just insert some more. And now let's move up to the end of 2023 and the end of 2024 and just feel like that sense of, dadgum, I did good imagining lovingly for others this past year. Uh-huh. And when you're ready, open up your eyes and enjoy smile.
Wow. Revision.
And you can do that
too.
Yeah, you can do that anytime.
That's fantastic.
I've discovered, I invented a me that talks to anyone easily. And it's really sweet. And I notice the state of happy, loving husband oozes out of me constantly. And so you mentioned, what would happy, loving wife do? Happy, loving husband can flirt with a 7-year-old or a 77-year-old or anyone in between. And from what I can tell, it's very rare that anyone ever thinks I'm hitting on them because I'm not. If they make it up, they make it. That's funny. I just think it's funny. But they feel there's something about this guy. Whether or not I mention Victoria, which I often do, it doesn't matter because there's something about this guy. I'm loving and I appreciate the beauty that they are or what they brought into the room or whatever. And again, 7 to 77, male or female, I don't care. If I don't know what you are, even better. But it's like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Because I care for them. And it's lovely because whatever state we're embodying gives to everyone whenever we've got happy, loving built into it. And as you go throughout your entire life, realizing happy, loving wife gives to everyone. Happy, loving manifester gives to everyone. Because you can go back and revise, oh, wow, I actually made it through a flight without lifting somebody up. How impossible is that? And then you just revise that last flight. Just yeah, just that wow, I just noticed that I did lift up 3 people, 4 people. And then suddenly you find yourself doing it. I walk into the center, I'm talking to Victoria on those Ray-Ban glasses, and I'm passing people, chatting with her, engaging them, lifting them up. It's just become a thread of magic. And we get to notice all these tools and toys that we play with over the years. There's threads of magic that weave together, and they give us not only a lovely safety net for life, but a lovely tapestry that hangs on the wall. And I love what you're doing because you get that. It's never a bunch of discarnate parts. These are all threads that magically weave. Cool. What else you got? I'm curious.
Oh my gosh. I guess I've just been talking about the past, and the future is going to be really financially focused. So that's why I want to dive into the money mastermind.
Nice.
Because it just seems like things that people want, relationships, money.
Well,
And I don't even know if
health, relationships, and money.
Yeah, and health, relationships.
Are the big 3.
Yeah. So,
And then we can personalize them, and this is where the power really comes from.
Yeah.
Where, like, of course I want health, right? But when it hit me December 25th, what I wanted to be fighting fit. Right, that's personal.
Yeah.
Because I was the Billy Jack, Bill Wallace, Chuck Norris kind of guy, where I could put my foot anywhere I wanted to for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I can barely stand.
Yeah.
It's like, this is unacceptable to me. And in the past year, I've totally transformed my body. And it's cool because people can see it. And often people walk into the pool and they'll go, I didn't recognize you. Or they look where I used to park my walking stick. And I haven't used a walking stick this year. So they go, wow, yeah, it's me. I'm cool. When did you have your hip done? Didn't. I just replaced me. No biggie, right? And the fun begins. And we really get to notice this power of personal. And so you dive into the money mastermind, all that stuff. That's cool. And you get to really notice my life. My life enables me to live here, to talk to you, not sit in traffic. I hate traffic. Can't do it. I don't even want to drive more than 5 Ks from home right now. It's just my own personal weirdness. And I'm fine with that. But anytime you can let it become very personal. Now, if you nailed these financial goals, what will be different in one sip of coffee or the kind of cupcake you buy or whatever? It's going to be something silly for each of us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting exploration, just to kind of enter the state and see what would be done differently, and then studying different things and seeing different people's reactions to things. And,
Nice.
you think you want money comes, money goes, money is energy. Somebody in the group was talking about, I need money. How do I get it to show up? And I wanted to share with her about this time when I wanted to manifest money in my mailbox. And I was just playing with the idea. And I was like, okay, so every day
Right.
I'm getting money in my mailbox, and every day I'd envision it, and I'd go to the mailbox and it wasn't there. And then a week later, my mom calls and she says, hey, I got a check for you in my mailbox.
Yeah, nice.
Because I used to live there, so they had sent the money to her address instead. And you'd think you could take that and just play with it every single week, and every week you'll somehow get money in your mailbox. But it's not always, once you kind of master the technique, it's like, oh, that was fun. What next?
Yeah. If I did get money in my mailbox, what will be different about my day?
Yeah.
Let's give to that, because that's personal.
That's a good point, because then I would have to deposit it. Because I once had to, you have to kind of refine it a little bit. Like, oh, I get money in my mailbox all the time in the form of credit offers. But what if you actually get cash? Well, then the next action is depositing the cash. So there's that. that statement can help me take the bigger picture a little bit further. And I think that's what I needed, was how to take,
But
taking money in your mailbox. That's like a small thing. But when you have $130,000 in student loans to pay off, you need a little bit more than money in your mailbox.
yeah, what if the student loans were a memory?
Yeah.
My first car payment, $180.25. My first student loan, $47.25. I can remember these things.
Mhm.
I don't pay either one of them anymore.
Yeah.
So I can take any of those and just slam them so far back. Yeah. Now when money comes in, I just think of, all right, it goes into a bank account somewhere. And then it either goes into an investment or whiskey or meat, if a vegetable for Victoria.
Something fun.
I go to the Tip Top Butchers. And so for a long time ago, you probably remember whenever every freaking show I talk about, I get top shelf steaks at ground meat prices. And I fell out of that during COVID. And I get why, because often the meat shelves were bare here. I was happy just to get meat. So I sort of settled down a little bit. And in this last year, when I went fleshitarian, I thought, now it'd be fun again. Here's the producer. I go, being that guy, right? Getting the top shelf, bottom shelf, I got it. I kept doing it with cars and stuff and gear for the business, right? It's like, what if I did it with meat again, just for fun? Make it personal. And then I got the inkling to go to this Tip Top Butchers, which I have avoided for 7 years. And I stop in, and lo and behold, I am buying $30 to $50 steak for for $30 to $50 or more a kilo. I'm getting for $16-17. We're feeding the dogs steak because I'm just getting it at ridiculous prices. And it's all cryovac. It's all good. We grab it, stick it in the freezer. They were eating chicken. Now they're eating steak for the same price. We still buy them some chicken. And I'm eating these steaks at ridiculous prices. So Victoria has on the shopping list the other day, pick up some lamb mince for the puppies. And lamb mince is $19 a kilo at the main store in town. And I'm buying steak at $10 a kilo. It's like, why am I buying them ground mince when they can eat steak?
Yeah.
And it's that play that I got. It's fun. It's personal. It's quirky. I love quirky and weird. but I walk in and I'll just be marking down lamb legs. Like, all right. And they just want to get them out because I got new stock coming in. And I just load them right in my little freezer bag.
Wow.
Right. You mark them down. I'll put them in. It's just the miracle of miracles. And it's fun. And it just reinforces my, all right, I buy a Mercedes for the price of a Chevy.
Mm-hmm.
I buy premium steaks. Yeah. For the price, for less than ground meat. And it's just fun and quirky for me.
Yeah.
And it feeds my investor because my investor goes, okay, so we got money to invest. Yeah, just say 40% off my grocery bill. So I'm going to invest that money someplace. And it's like, that's fun. So even when we start going personal with, I racked up some debt, no biggie. If I imagine the debt gone and imagine investing that very same money in something, well, now I'm an investor and the fun begins.
Yeah. See, that's crazy because about that. Because I kept thinking, I just keep focusing on debt free,
Mm-hmm.
and I paid it down, but I haven't really had much fun while doing it,
Yeah.
because
I'm
all the
a
money
massive
is
fan
going
of
to the,
fun.
yeah. And then I'm like, I'll see like, what the Destiny project come up and I'm like, oh, I loved it, but nope, I'm in debt free state. So I can't spend money on that stuff. And I never thought about the state of investor might be a better state to replace what I've been doing.
I noticed for me personally, so my number one investment is always education. 2 is technology. 3 is wherever the fuck the money goes. I don't know where it goes. Let's put it in the thing and it goes someplace. And it's fascinating to me because I find in the state of investor, I'll buy a book and I won't read it, but I'll feel I got to buy that book.
Yeah.
So I buy the book. All right. 9 months go by. And for some reason, this book pops up and I'll open it up and it's exactly what I need today. And I'll read the whole damn thing and I'll highlight things and it'll go into my ReadWise app. Lisa Trigan, Remarkable, turned me on to that. Do you do Kindle?
I do.
You got to get something called ReadWise. ReadWise is like $8 a month. Like, oh man, another freaking expense, right? But Lisa keeps sending me these little snippets from books and the way it formats them is so cool. But what ReadWise does, every day it gives me 16 things that I've highlighted out of my 3,000 Kindle books. And it does it randomly. They think it's random.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I go out and I sit and it serves me up my 16. And then if I want more, I can do more. But it serves me up these highlights from the 3,000 books that I've read.
Wow.
And it is always giving me something that is perfect for me that day. And it could be a fiction book. I love Michael Connelly. It could be a Neville Goddard read. It could be Tim Ferriss. It could be anything. But it's all stuff that I've read over the years and it gives me exactly what I need. And that's my always be investing. That $8 a month is nothing.
And is it something you highlighted or is it just a random?
Yes.
Okay.
Stuff that I've highlighted.
Yeah.
And then of course it drags me back into the book. And I go back into the book and I find other stuff to highlight. And then it goes into ReadWise and shares that with me again as time goes on. That's like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we can always be, once we start thinking as investors, I can't help but buy my dogs steak and Victoria cooks it up for them. So happy living puppy mom, happy living puppy dad. And they're getting this $20 a kilo steak for $10 a kilo or less. And often it's already pre-chunked and so on, and give to them. Because if I spend money on them, I'll be getting them arthritis shots and giving them drugs as they get older. But if they're eating all this good collagen and flesh and stuff, and it's going in and building them, they still bounce like puppies. And I go, that's good. So I'm investing in this steak that I'm getting at half price because that's me.
Yeah.
And it gives to them, it gives to me. And investing in you always gives to everyone. You're investing in a new house. You've invested your time in our chat. And you always get to honor, how have I been investing? Because you have been. And then you could double that investing with half the effort.
And it's funny because whenever I've stepped into this state of investor, the money's always shown up.
Always, doesn't it?
And it doesn't always, it doesn't always show up but it always shows up. Like when I wanted to do Dream Driven Day last year, last fall, the money was there. It wasn't there for the previous opportunities, but all of a sudden I was like, oh, look, I have enough money for Dream Driven Day. And then there was another class that it was just like, it was suddenly there. And then this year, I have not been in the state of investor at all.
Welcome back.
I know. And I'm like, the money isn't really here. And all of a sudden I'm like, well, probably because I'm not giving it anywhere. I'm giving it some places, but not to the extent that I used to.
Yeah.
And while the spending's down because I'm putting more of it toward the debt load, at the same time, it's not, there's nothing growing alongside it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'll give you homework.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Go. Revise.
Okay.
Little tiny bits.
Yeah.
Tiny bits.
Oh my gosh. I could revise the whole year. Every time I hear about revision, I think of taking a bad thing and turning it into a good thing. That's what sticks in my mind, but I don't think of taking good and making it better.
Yeah. Nice.
It never occurs to me to make good better, but it really, you can revise any.
You got that live revision call we did this past year? Got that recording?
Is that in the vault?
Nah, that ain't in the vault. That's a new one. It's in the 2024 personal transformation series or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll say, cool. Get that
Okay.
at some point. Get that. It'll give you.
I have revision it, but I think it's like the course.
Yeah, you got that little $7 thing. Yeah, this new thing we did last year or so. Excellent.
Yeah.
So how do we tie it up? We've actually gone, would you believe, we're almost up to an hour.
I did not expect that. You're like, 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, and it's divine.
Yeah, this has really re-energized me, and it's helping me see things in a very different way than I did even before the call. So just making it about me, and I know I see that a lot with Anja, or Anya. It's just sometimes when you see it through somebody else, and you don't take time to play with what they're seeing to see it through your own eyes, So it's like I'm seeing a lot of the themes that have been popping up over the year, but then turning them to my perspective, and it's giving me courage and drive to implement them moving forward. So yeah.
Beauty.
I know, very much so. And the whole revision, oh my gosh. Like I hear it and see it and I'm like, oh, my life is really good. There's nothing to revise, but I never think about taking good and making it better. So that's where that's gonna go.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I cannot wait for 2025. Remarkable. Just the disciples. You guys did that a few years ago before I joined, and I'd hear about it. Like you talk about it in the basic group, and I was like, oh, that sounds so fascinating. And Tim brings it up all the time, and I'm just like, okay, what's this all about? And now
it's going to be so much fun because I logically could have never picked this, but it keeps coming, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
And I noticed since the first time we did the 12 disciples, how much my experience of them has changed.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's kind of just be such a delightful dance. And it excites me that you're there. And you're already exploring with us the first one, which is Simon Peter, and he admits only the honorable and the dignified.
Yeah.
And when we start there, that gives us the opportunity to go back to the first week in 2020 or the first month in 2024, magical or rational. We get to say no to some things and more please to others.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the year before and it all weaves in with producer. Wow. Let's admit some, wouldn't it be cool?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, oh, we're so screwed. Oh, wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for investing your time with me today.
Oh, this is delightful. Thank you for the opportunity. I've been wanting to do the podcast forever, and I was like, oh, I don't participate enough, but one day I'll do it. And then there you were, and I was like, oh, neat. This is great. So.
Oh, neat. Yum. Yummy.
Sorry, I'm sure there's a better word, but
I love it. I'm stealing phrases because it seems as though I'm being drawn into swearing less.
Oh, really?
So if I try to swear less, that will have me go into debt reduction. Got it? So I need funner words. so I steal from Remarkable Kelly, dadgum, and I steal from you today. Neat. Yeah, and there's so many others that I'll steal along the way, because it was Tony Soprano that really got me using the F word. And I've used it before. I'm good at it. But Tony really kicked me over the edge. So it's like, it's time to steal. So it's time to invest in I'm looking into some new goodies that I can steal. Yeah. I love you. I thank you so much. And I so look forward to experiencing you in your new dwelling place.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. And I love you too, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your weekend, and I will see you on the call on Sunday.
That's right. Cool.
Or Sunday, I think.
Thank you. Your Sunday, my Monday. Yes.
Yes. We'll get it
cool.
All right. Thank you so much.
See ya. Thank you.
All right. Absolutely. Bye.